can't-miss race replay, get Contender updates, and expert analysis, and go behind the scenes with exclusive features. Make sure you subscribe to get the best racing content all year long. From coast to coast and across the globe, FanDuel Racing on YouTube has you covered.
It was a big idea, a gamble. In 2017, we saw the brainchild of Frank Stronach come to fruition. It was billed as the Pegasus World Cup, with an eye-watering $12 million purse, at the time the richest race in the world. It was a disruptor to decades of institutional inertia, challenging a sport that had largely followed the same predictable patterns for a century. This was to be a buy-in model, where owners paid $1 million for a spot of the starting gate. It was a radical attempt to rewrite the rules of ownership. And while it didn't ultimately upend the global business of the sport, it served as a high-voltage jolt to the system. It forced the racing world to realize that the old way wasn't the only way to create a massive, high-stakes event.
The field is arriving at the starting gate for the inaugural running of the Pegasus World Cup Invitational.
The inaugural running set the bar impossibly high. We saw an epic showdown between two titans, the legendary California Chrome and the rising star Arrowgate, and instantly placed the Pegasus as the Super Bowl of horse racing's winter season.
What a race! What a sport! Arrowgate rocks in the Pegasus!
Since then, the Pegasus World Cup has been a who's who of thoroughbred royalty.
He's the horse of the year, and he's gun runner, and City of Light will win it. Next Go makes it 4 in a row. White Arborio, sharp in victory.
Over the last decade, the event has found its stride. It moved past the experimental buy-in phase and matured into a premier invitational. It proved that you could blend the grit of a championship dirt race with the neon energy of a Miami festival by expanding to include the Pegasus Turf and the Filly and Mare Turf. 10 years in, the Pegasus is no longer the new kid on the block. It has transformed from a daring experiment into the essential anchor of the winter calendar to become a true cultural magnet. It's a place where the world of elite sport meets the pulse of Miami, creating a social atmosphere that is as much about the party as it is about the race itself. Now, the Pegasus, with its new status as a win-and-you're-in qualifier, now earns an automatic berth into the $7 million Breeders' Cup Classic. This is no longer just a South Florida spectacle. It is the first major bridge of the year toward global championship glory. This is the Pegasus World Cup Invitational.
It is hard to believe it was 10 years ago when we saw Arrowgate romp in the Pegasus. Here we are today with a new model of the race, but this is still one of the best parties in the sport, and we are happy you are joining us. Happy Pegasus Day, everyone. I'm Anthony Pascal alongside jockey Joe Talamo and the voice of two-thirds of the Triple Crown, Larry Comas, as we get ready to embark on a 13-race card. From a gambling perspective, guys, I don't think you could have put together a better card for this time of the year.
It's absolutely incredible. I mean, full fields, all of the horses in there. You can make cases for half of them, and what a great day weather-wise. I mean, this is going to be such a big party today.
Yeah, it's about 80 degrees, sunny skies. We've got some fantastic racing. I mean, literally from the first race to the 13th race, the Pegasus World Cup. Great racing. And a lot of chances to make big money, too, because there are some wide-open betting affairs.
Don't forget, there is a mandatory payout today in the Rainbow Six. The pool expected to reach $4 million. That's coming up later in the card. But let's get you caught up on the big one, the Pegasus World Cup, coming up as race number 13. Do note that they just announced that the 13 Lightning Tones will run with that late scratch that was announced yesterday of Matticat Road. But But here is the full lineup of all of the stakes action. 10 stakes races in total, 7 of them graded.
I can't wait, and especially for the big one, the Pegasus World Cup. What a field they put together in there. Just really looking forward to that, and all the races in between. We talked about it's going to be a really, really good day for gambling.
I mean, there just is one star after another, including in the Fred Hooper, the middle of the card, a horse named Life and Times, who's just run twice in his career, earned triple-digit buyer numbers in them. He could be any type of a horse. It's a very exciting day.
In terms of the Pegasus World Cup, we are possibly going to see a repeat winner, the first repeat winner in White Abarrio, who comes into this race very unconventionally, was scratched in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, hasn't run since. The jury's out on whether White Abarrio can do it again this year.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't run in 4 months, so he's definitely going to have to do it off a layoff like that. But clearly, you talk about a horse that loves it here at Gulfstream Park. 10 starts, 8 wins, and a second. And you mentioned it, Anthony. He won this race by 6 1/4 last year, romping.
Not only was he scratched in the Breeders' Cup, he was scratched in the Mr. Prospector, which was supposed to be his prep race for here. So he is a huge question mark, but at his best, he might be the best.
Well, there will be a lot of disco dancing going on here at Gulfstream Park, especially in the carousel. We talked about what a great party they throw in that area here at Gulfstream Park. What about Disco Time? You're undefeated for your 3-year-old from the inside.
I mean, he definitely has to contend with that post. I know the 1 hole is a lot better than, say, the 12 hole, but
4-year-old, sorry.
It's gonna be interesting where he's gonna be positioning-wise, because there's quite a bit of speed in there, and he showed a new dynamic his last 2 races. I know in the LeCompte he came from dead last. He was 10 lengths back, but his last 2 races he was on or near the lead. It's gonna be interesting. I don't think he's gonna be too far back, but I think Flamian Pratt's gonna hopefully have him in a great spot around the first turn.
Larry, the question I keep hearing about Disco Time is he as good as some of the others in this race? I mean, if you look back to his stakes win in the Dwyer last time, he only faced 3 other horses.
He's done everything he's been asked to do, but he hasn't done it against anybody that's spectacular yet. So we don't know how good Disco Time is. What we've seen from him so far has been terrific, but for now, we need to see him beat the real deal.
Trying to pull off the St. Louis Derby Pegasus double. Not sure that's been done before, but taking a look at the full field, Disco Time stablemate to Pan Street is a horse who I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing run. I mean, this is the only horse that beat Sovereignty around 2 turns last year.
He beat Sovereignty at this racetrack at this distance. What price would Sovereignty be in this race? 3 to 5?
It's a great point.
Joe, are there any live long shots in this race? Any horse that you think maybe isn't getting the kind of attention that our favorites are getting that you think has a shot here?
I mean, I think to Pan Street at 6 to 1, any of the big long shots. I mean, I think, but Matt Bernier made a good case about Poster yesterday. Maybe not maybe an underneath horse with blinkers on, but I just think that the way Disco Time has been running, he's definitely a deserving favorite, but definitely has to contend with that 1 post.
So the Pegasus today will be the first win in your in of the year for the Breeders' Cup. This is the first year that the Pegasus winner will earn an automatic berth into the Breeders' Cup Classic. Here's a look at some of the Pegasus winners who were previous Breeders' Cup winners.
Yeah, Gunrunner, Arrogate, City of Light, Nixco, and then White Abarrio looking to do it back-to-back.
The Pegasus World Cup coming up later today will also feature the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner from 2024. Full Serrano comes into this race, Larry, with some very nice works in the morning.
Yeah, he has been training really well, and obviously any horse that can win the Breeders' Cup is a very, very talented horse. He also has that early speed, which is a big benefit to this racetrack at Gulfstream Park.
Joe, I think the big question about Full Serrano is, first of all, the layoff, but second of all, does he want a 1 1/8 miles?
That's the thing. He's only he's only running one time, and he finished second. I think he can, if he can, set a realistically slow pace. I just think there's probably some other speed in there that's going to go with him. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to walk the dog out there.
So the horses competing in the Pegasus races today actually had to arrive here at Gulfstream Park a couple of days ago, where they are under veterinary scrutiny for the past couple of days. Andy Biancone has more from that facility.
For those of you who didn't know, horses who are not trained at Gulfstream Park, who are running in any of the Pegasus races, so not the undercard stakes, but the Pegasus, Pegasus Turf, and the Pegasus Filly and Mare Turf, all have to be shipped down to Gulfstream Park 72 hours before the race. And it's kind of like a big sleepover. Let's walk down the line. We have Ready for Cheryl here. She's got her teddy bear. You see Alamanderas right next to her right. The Phil D'Amato squad in from the West Coast. But you see everyone's just hanging out. We've got our fans. We are relaxing. And like I said, all the contestants running in the Pegasus World Cup, Pegasus Turf, or the Pegasus Filly and Mare Turf all have to be here 72 hours before race day. And I think it's kind of a bit of an angle. Keep in mind, Palm Meadows horses ship the day of the race and run the day of the race. So Beach Gold, personally, it took him a day to settle in. He's totally fine now. Some horses kind of never settled down, but so far all good and all quiet in this barn here. And it's just been like a fun slumber party. You see everybody from Payson Park to Pan Street right here has his jolly ball and is all done up for the evening. But tons of action and obviously a lot to look forward to on Pegasus Day.
Andy, thank you. We'll check back with you in just a little bit. But Andy brings up a really interesting point, Joe, because most of these horses are used to shipping in the day of the race. Horses often know what's going on. They get here, they think they're running, and they kind of get faked out. No, the race isn't for a couple of days.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how some react to it, some good, some bad. So, yeah, that is a very interesting point that I'm glad she was able to show.
I like
everyone.
the equine slumber party. I think that's kind of a cool way to describe that scene.
The good thing is we'll have Andy Biancone in the paddock for much of the day, so she'll be able to keep us updated on exactly how the horses are handling this big day and this big crowd that is on hand. Well, it is not lost on us that throughout the country, many are dealing with some treacherous weather, and that has impacted racing across the country. For more on that, let's say hello to the first time today to Caleb Keller. He's in the FanDuel TV studios. Hey, Caleb.
Gentlemen, thank you, and happy Pegasus Day to you as, again, we brace for the winter storms from all across the country. 80 and sunny in Florida, but not everywhere else in the country. As we're going to take a look at quite a few cancellations already have been listed here on the board. To no surprise, not going to be racing in New York there from Aqueduct. Also on the East Coast from Maryland, Laurel has canceled. Even later on tonight, they've kind of got out ahead of it and in advance called it there at Turfway Park. So 3 big cancellations already. They are going to move the post time from the Meadowlands in New Jersey as well. Now, in terms of the tracks that are running, Fast and Firm from Gulfstream, still waiting on the fairgrounds. They are over an hour away from post there. And also Tampa Bay, we're going to have a little double dip from Florida here. Fast and Firm there as well. So I can tell you from growing up in the Midwest, one of my favorite parts of January was watching, of course, championship coverage there from Gulfstream Park with the sunshine. And with that, we are getting set to embark on what looks to be a very strong card today, especially with the cancellations. I mean, how big are the pools going to be today from Gulfstream Park? All right, now, one of the staples, one of the big owners that loves the glamorous lifestyle of South Beach is Michael Ivorone, who famously owned a Big Brown, among others, including a recent Breeders' Cup champion. Let's find out more with the swag and the man who owns some of these top horses in Florida.
You know, I've read some of these articles. You know, the Star did a big piece, called me the most outrageous millionaire in all of racing, and you know, it made me out to be like Randy Macho Man Savage. You know, I love it. But I'm pretty confident that if they spent a week with me, they probably would write something different. When I was 15 years old, I had my first experience at the racetrack. I just fell in love with it. I said, I need to get into this game, and here we are all these years later, and magically it's really worked out.
Big Brown bounding home.
Having a horse win the Kentucky Derby is, you know, it's surreal. You can't get a better start to a syndicate from that. IEAH was a racing partnership that I had formed back in the early 2000s. Everything was going as just good as can be. And one of the money managers that had provided significant capital got into a financial disagreement with his largest client. So it forced us to liquidate many of the assets that we had. You know, I thought maybe I was done with horse racing, and then I realized within a couple of years that it's in my blood. And then, you know, I met my wife, and it was something that she was passionate about as well. Now it's about trying to have the best time I possibly can have. I feel like I just jumped in a DeLorean.
And this is my
I wore that thing?
And this was my Pegasus 1 dress.
When I ran the syndicate, I dressed differently. You can't be outrageous when you're their face. I'm sure Bill Ackman, you know, wants to dress like me, but he can't. This one should make a statement pretty good. The persona is the persona, and so many people will tell Jules that they were afraid to go up to me because I look scary, because I'm wearing sunglasses. The Dior's of the look. Definitely not scary. True story. We went to dinner one night. A guy comes over to me. Can I get a picture? So I said, yeah, of course. So I get up, I take a picture. He goes, can you put your sunglasses on? I said, oh, I actually didn't bring them tonight. I'm sorry. And he goes, oh, all right then. We're okay. So I said, really? He goes, well, that would be like taking a picture with Superman without his cape. I said, I get it. This is my spot. This is where I hang out. It's the Ferrari of tanning beds. It's no joke. The one thing about me that people don't know is they may see my Instagram and they may think I'm completely out of my mind, but they don't know me on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, maybe on a Friday, Saturday, I'll go crazy a couple times a month. But I love being home with my wife and my cat. But when we go out, we do it right. I'm still running around the clubs with 20-year-olds. I mean, I refuse to be old. There may be a day where I walk into the club and they'll be like, this dude needs to get out of here. But right now, I'm still okay. Until the day that they tell me I need to leave, I'm good.
And everything you've heard about the high-priced lifestyle of Miami confirmed there from Michael Ivarone, who also bought into the sprint champion of the Breeders' Cup, Ben Tornado, just a few months ago. And he's going to have 6 entrants in today. Some long shots in some of the bigger races, but how about 5 stakes entrants, including Brother Kenny's going to be in that Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup there on the back end of the card, and his day is going to start in race 3. Now, in terms of those conditions, we told you we're waiting for the fairgrounds, fast and firm there at Tampa, and then, of course, fast there with 80 degrees at Gulfstream Park. Did want to make a note, they're going to be good on the turf courses. They were on the Tapeta earlier this week, so fast and good as of now to start the card from Gulfstream Park. Also later on today, one of the best pools all year, as Anthony told you, the Pick 6 in mandatory payout fashion. Now, usually they hold this bad boy for the day after the Pegasus, but it's going down today. $311,000 plus. They're expecting a $4 million pool. And myself and Larry Colmus both going to have tickets that we're going to go through coming up at the top of the next hour. And you can wager at FanDuel Racing. They're on your app and also on your computer.